Hello, welcome to today's webinar. I'm Vikas, your host, founder of InstaWP. And in this webinar, we are going to learn about advanced WordPress tooling with InstaWP and WordPress, of course. So before I start, just wanted to say hi to everybody. Hope you had a great day. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Today, it is all about advanced WordPress development, or simply put, WordPress development made easy with InstaWP and beyond. So just wanted to say hi. If you guys can hear me, if you folks can hear me, please comment and I can get started in 30 seconds. I see 22 people are now online. Hey, Mehndi, Viraj, Gabriel, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Awesome. So we have a confirmation. Let's go ahead and share my screen really quickly. And just a side note, we will be doing Q&A at the end of this webinar so that I can maintain the flow of presentation and we will have ample time of doing it. I'm thinking to do the webinar for at least 30 to 40 minutes, depending upon how much we can cover, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So thanks, everybody. Robin, Stephen, Petros, Satyam, welcome. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, you can see the presentation right away. Yep, I think you can. Excuse me. All right, so let's get started. In today's topics, we will learn about how to accelerate development with templates and configurations, and how to automate testing, and how to do CI/CD with WordPress. We will also learn a sample plugin development with remotely enabled development with InstaWP. And lastly, we will look at how to do WP CLI commands with WordPress. So hopefully everybody is all set. Let's get started. Excuse me. So first of all, templates and configurations. I'm assuming everybody here is familiar with InstaWP. In InstaWP, you can, or in generally in WordPress land, it is not that easy to set up pre-configured environments. Generally, you start from scratch and then you add your plugins, your themes, your content, and then you just set up there. And it takes about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe hour to set these up. And if you're doing it repeatedly on a daily basis, it becomes a hassle. That's where templates and configurations will really help you. So the templates and configurations are similar, but completely different in a way. And we will look at how to create one and how to use one. Just to give you a brief, templates are something like a blueprint. They are basically an ideal for saving an entire backup of a site. So if you have a website with content, plugins, themes, configurations, even like you have uploaded a license of a plugin, or if you have activated a theme license, all of that will be saved as a template. New websites are essentially clone of these templates. On the other hand, configurations are more or less like a preset. So presets are essentially a configuration which configures a new website with the settings. They are not saved websites. So they are not a blueprint. They are just setting for a website. Enough of the talk. I guess let's get inside the demo. So here I have opened InstaWP dashboard in front of me, and I have a couple of sites on my dashboard already. So let's get started. Let's look at how configuration looks like. So I'm going to go inside the configurations tab. Here I have configured couple of configurations already for this demo. Every InstaWP account comes with a default configuration. Under the configuration, you get 4 different tabs. So first tab is basic information like which WordPress version, which PHP version, which is the server location you are interested in. Do you want to create permanent sites, which we call it reserved sites by default, things of those nature. The second tab is, I think most of the developers are familiar, if you want to choose a particular PHP option. So if I change this to 300 and then I save it, every site which I create from now on will have this setting. Now, next is the WordPress tab, and we have a couple of WP config settings. So you can switch it on or switch it off, depending upon your requirements. You can choose a site language. You can choose the WordPress username to be a static value. So generally people ask, can I set this up? You can choose to install a multi-site installation, not required for this demo right now. And you can choose to install some plugins and themes, and we will look at it in a moment. The last tab is the Faker tab. Faker tab allows you to create multiple fake post pages inside WordPress. This is really, really useful when you are testing something which relies on content. Second, if you scroll down, the second option is WooCommerce Generator. WooCommerce Generator helps you to create fake products and orders and coupons and so on and so forth. You can actually create different type of products as well and different type of order statuses as well. So just click plus icon after you have entered a number here. So this was a rundown about different configurations. And what I've done is I've created 4 such configurations. So Elementor and Hello is, of course, if I scroll down, I have entered Elementor as the pre-installed plugin and pre-installed theme as Hello Elementor. Excuse me. If I open this site tab in a new tab, then if I create a new website, let's try to create a new website with Hello and Elementor and Hello. And this is where you choose your configuration, right? And all these configurations which you have created will show up here. So choose the one which you want to choose, for creating a website, and then click on Create Site. One quick thing to notice here is that you will see a drop-down which says that which plugin and which theme you are going to install. So let's close it off, click on Create Site. And within few seconds, the site will get installed. And keep in mind that the installation of plugins and theme begin in a couple of seconds, right? This is not a template. This is a configuration. These are instructions to InstaWP that please install these plugins on top of a new WordPress installation. So if I go and click on Magic Login, while I was talking, it would have installed it already. So let's go and have a look at it. Excuse me. So while it is getting loaded, why not we create a couple of such sites as well on the side? So I'm going to click and choose Debug Tools as another one. And if I click on the drop down, I will see that Query Monitor, Mail Logging, and Code Profiler. These are some of the plugins which will get installed automatically. And I have also switched on the debug mode, so that will automatically get switched on. So let's click on Magic Login. All right, so I'm hoping our demo gods are happy and we are able to get redirected to these websites quickly. All right, so the dashboards are opening up. Let's give them a moment. In the meantime, let's talk about what is a template. A template, as I said, is a saved version of this website. So we will take a look at it right now. And as you can see, the plugins have been installed for mailing and Code Profiler. I think there is one more plugin, which is the Query Monitor, that has already been installed. So this is what the configuration was all about. If I go back to the dashboard and close this off for a moment, there is a button called Save Template. So once you are ready, once you have installed all your plugins, your themes and you have set up everything, right? So you set up everything with content, with configuration, as I said. So let's try to do that. So this is the Able Gull website. And if I go to a particular page, let me try to open the admin screen once again. Let me try to open this again. Hopefully the demo gods are happy with us today. If not, we can always come back to it. Yep, looks like it is working. And in the meantime, why don't we go ahead and click on posts and create a new post. So I think the post section you can add any post to the post section and then save it as a template. Let's let it load. All right, looks like there is some kind of issue going on with my internet or with the site itself. So let's come back to it in a moment. In the meantime, let's click on Save Template. And here you can enter a template name. So for example, I'm going to enter 21st December demo. And I'm going to copy paste the description here as well. And in this example, I'm going to keep the template type as private. This is the template type which you will generally like use in your day-to-day. And if your plan allows, you can switch on instant template. That will allow you to create the website quickly from the template. So we already keep a pool of pre-warmed up website if you switch on the instant template option. So let's save it. And if I go to the templates tab, this is getting ready. And in a moment, it will say that the template is ready. All right, so the template is ready. And also, if you can see that I have already created a template beforehand. So why don't we just click on the plus sign here and try to create a new site from this. First, before I do that, let's have a look at the parent site of the template. So the Optimistic Wren is the website which was used for the template which I created early on. And it looks something like this. All right. Now, if I click on, so there is another way to do it. First, click on Add New, go to From Template, and choose the template which you want to choose from. So these are the two ways. Either you go to the Templates tab and click from there, or you click on Add New and choose a template here. So both are one and the same thing. And I can actually change the PHP version if I want to change here from here. Now let's create a new website. And if for this template, I have switched on the instant template part. So now this template should look exactly like my parent site. Right? So that's how configurations and template system works. And I hope you have achieved some of the information which I was trying to present. Again, going back to my presentation, templates are exact clone of a website, and it can contain anything. So I will suggest you to create such templates and configurations for your day-to-day, right? So if you use Bricks as a stack, if you use Cadence as a stack, go ahead and create those templates. But if you just want to install a couple of plugins, every time you create a new website, use a configuration. I have listed some of the very useful plugins which are meant for developers. One of that we saw is Query Monitor. We did not see that in action. It is one of the popular plugins. I'm sure a lot of us already know about it. So for some reason, the website is not opening quickly. Otherwise, I would have shown Query Monitor to you. Otherwise, we can go to one of these websites which are opening quickly. So let's try to install Query Monitor. There is one more handy way to install Query Monitor to any of your WordPress website. The easiest way to do it, and wait for it. So the website which we are going to install is the Optimistic Wren. So let's identify where it is. This is the website. I'm going to drag this and drop it onto Optimistic Wren. And you can drop a zip file as well. You can drop WordPress URLs as well, which I did. So now if I click and go to install plugin, the plugin should have been installed and activated. And you can do the same with themes as well. I guess the Query Monitor plugin installation itself is going to take some time for some reason. But you can check it out at your own time. It actually gives you information of what are the SQL queries which are running inside, and if there is some plugin or theme or your code making an issue about it. So let's go back and go to our presentation. So the next step is we'll talk about Git integration, automated testing, and CI/CD. So generally, when you are setting up test environments, you waste a lot of time in setting up these environments exactly. So you have to test it with different page builders. You have to test it with different themes, different PHP versions, different WordPress versions. So if you remember, we have templates now. So I will suggest you to set up these templates with different kind of environments you are looking to test in. Now, next would be to use a webhook or GitHub action. So we have two options. So let's look at them step by step. In this example, I'm going to use a plugin which I've already uploaded to GitHub. It's called the sample plugin, right? Rightly so. So the sample plugin, it does nothing. Let's just open it up. And if you look at the code, it actually does add a custom style text to bottom or top of the content area, right? Not the bottom, to the top of the content area. Now, the next step for you is to go to InstaWP, go to deployments. Under deployments, click on add new. I've already added it, but I will show you how to add it. Click on add new, copy paste the repo. So I'm going to go to the code directory again, copy this URL, paste it here. And it also supports private repositories, so you can do that too. So select a branch which you want to link it, and then select a destination folder. In this case, it will be folder inside the plugin. So it will look something like this. There is a bonus thing. So you can run post deployment command. For example, your plugin depends upon NPM installation or Composer installations. You can run that here. But for now, we don't need that. And since I've already added it, I'm going to click on cancel. And our repo is now added to InstaWP. But this is just the first step. The next step for you would be to link an existing WordPress installation. So for this, why don't we create a new WordPress site with default configuration? We are not going to add anything on it. All right, so our site is now ready. It says Undaunted Skunk. So let's remember that. And go to the Deployments tab for the site and choose the Git repository, which we just added. Click on Save. Next, you will copy the deploy button. Excuse me. So you will copy the deploy webhook and go to your GitHub integration, GitHub repository. Click on webhook and add the webhook. So just give me a moment while I go past this step. All right, so I'm going to add the payload URL, which I just copied, and I'm going to choose the content type as application JSON. And I'm going to keep everything as default and click on webhook. So now, as you might guess, that every time I do a push to the main branch, my site will automatically get updated. So why don't we go to the site, do a magic login? I might be going here and there a little bit. Please excuse me for that. The topic is such like that, right? Means I have to jump around. So I hope you are able to follow me. Right now, the Undaunted Skunk site doesn't have any plugins here. So why don't we just open up VS Code and make some changes to the plugin? So instead of saying custom style text, let's say 21st webinar, and then save it. And next is we are going to go to the terminal and we are going to add a commit message, updated text, and let's push it. So as soon as I push it, it should go and call the webhook, and then our website should automatically get updated. This takes about 30 seconds depending upon the size of the repo. So let's try to hit refresh, and our plugin is now added. For the first time, we have to activate it, right? We don't need to activate it again and again. So this is the first time, and now it is ready. If I go to my front end and open a post, for example, hello world. So the 21st webinar text is obviously there. Now, if I want to make another change, so let's say new change to the plugin, and let's give it a nice green color. Save it. Let's push it again. So I hope everybody is following. And within few seconds, hit refresh. Boom. So what we did is we are making active changes to a repo which we have cloned locally. And then we are making changes and then pushing it to the Git repository. There is a webhook which has been configured and tied to the InstaWP side. So every time you make a webhook push, it will automatically, or every time you make a push to the main branch, rather technically speaking, then it will update the site which has the link to the GitHub repository. So I hope this connection is clear to everybody. The next thing which we are going to look at is the templates. So if you remember my presentation, it says that either you can connect the site with webhook, or you can connect the template with webhook. When you connect a template with webhook, every time there is a new push, automatically a new site will be created. So let's try to check that. So we already have our template. We already have a template, right? So why don't we just click on the enable deployment mode, click here and update it. Keep in mind, you have to copy the webhook again. So I'm not going to go ahead with the interest of time on this. The difference between a template and a site webhook is that every time you do a push, a new instance will be created with the contents of the template and the contents of the repository merged together. And this creates an amazing experience when you want to create different test environments. Now, what I would like to definitely show you is the GitHub action part. So you might wonder that when you raise a new pull request, what happens then? Can we do something inside the pull request? So 100% yes. So what you need to do is do the same steps, create a template, click on this check icon, copy the YAML file, and update it. In the next screen, you will see that the deployments button is now yellow. If I go to my code, you will find a folder already created. It says .github. This is a specific nomenclature which you should follow. So .github/workflows, and then create a YAML file with any name. So name of these file doesn't matter, but the folder matters, right? The name of the folder. And I've already pasted this inside that. All right. So, and you don't need to pay much attention to it right now. All it says is that I've configured a token, I've configured a template slug, I've configured a repo, and now I'm going to create a site. One more thing which we need to do is go to environments. Go to secrets and go to the action tab. Here we need to configure InstaWP token. So right now there is a token configured. Let's delete it. Make sure that we have the latest one. So let's click on InstaWP token, and how you can generate it is very easy. Go to my account, API token, click say GitHub, or you can input any name, give it read write permission, and the token is generated. Copy it, go ahead and paste it here. So now you are done. So let's try to do some changes with the PR. So instead of editing on my local, which I could do, instead of that, let's click on edit this file, and why don't we have a new text here? So this is a GitHub action text. And I'm going to click on commit change. And please note that I'm going to create a new branch. So demo 12 December. Those who are familiar with GitHub will automatically get it, or those who are familiar with Git as a workflow will get this very quickly. Now I'm going to click create a pull request. This is very, very important. I am not merging my changes to the main branch yet. I'm just creating a pull request. This will create an interim area where the pull request reviewer or the customer or anybody who is checking the pull request. So if I click on file changed, I can see that there is one file which has been changed, right? I've changed the text. Now, if I go back to conversation, one cool thing which has happened is that a new WordPress instance has been deployed. This is powered by InstaWP GitHub Actions. And you can see a new URL and you can see a magic login. So let's magic log into this. And this is the template which we created, right? So remember, template, our content of GitHub repository merged together to create an experience. This is the same, I think, query monitor plugin creating issue. So I hope you get the point that every time you raise a new pull request, a new environment will be created, and that environment will be added to your pull request. So that makes it super, super handy. Actually, you know what? We can try to open this in incognito just to check the front end. And I guess we need to find the blog section. So let's try to open Hello World. So if there was a post, it will work on top of that. So hopefully I am able to make my point and then show you how does the automated testing with GitHub. So the webhook is supported for GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab, all three of them. GitHub Actions are obviously GitHub Actions, so only supported with GitHub. And this is available in all our paid plans starting from starter. So there is a small status. If you click on top, you will see that Git operations are now 2 out of 5,000. So depending upon which plan you are on, you will get these many Git operations, as many push to the webhook. So hopefully this was clear. I'm going to the next slide. This is actually the disadvantage of not taking questions upfront. So excuse me for any questions you might be posting. I'm going to look at it in 10 minutes. So the next third topic is remote development. This is something which we released very, very recently. This is actually very easy. So let's try to do that. So we support SSH and SFTP out of the box. If you click on any of these sites and if you want to edit it, you have the option of code editor. We also provide a DB editor along with every site, and we also provide a logs viewer. If you click on logs, you can check out all the error logs associated with that site. So right now there are no error logs. Let's go to code editor. So code editor, let me just go back to Visual Code, create a new window for this to work. All right. And now there are two editors. One is the VS Code editor, another is the web-based editor. The web-based editor is free. It is available in on plans, including the free version. But the VS Code editor is only available on a paid plan, which has the SFTP feature. So internally, it uses SFTP. So let's try to click on Open in VS Code. And yep. So it is. So you have to open the InstaWP Explorer. If you don't have our extension, it will automatically ask you to install the extension because it is available in the marketplace of VS Code. So it is connecting to the site with SFTP. It helps if the site is closer to you. Right now, I am in India, and I have opened a site which is hosted in the US. So I will request you to choose a data center which is closest to you to make it even faster. And the website is available under the web folder, and it will show up the web folder when you open it up. Under that, you will see the site name. So you open that up and you will find the public HTML folder. And here um, all your WordPress files are available. So if you click on WP content, you can actually see all the plugins which has been installed or themes, as you already know about this. So I don't need to guide you on that. I wanted to develop a plugin using AI, but I guess we don't have time. If you folks are interested, I can take 10 minutes at the end of this webinar and then show you how to develop a plugin using ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. So I'm going to skip that part for now and going to go back to the presentation. One more thing which you should be aware is the SSH part. So if you click on SFTP SSH tab for a site, you will see that the SFTP is enabled because I have used the VS Code. So it automatically gets enabled. But if I want to run a remote command, I can enable SSH. And this is just a one-click enable. Now, the cool thing is that you can configure your public SSH keys. So you can read about public SSH keys. Whenever you generate a key pair on your local system, you'll get a public and private key pair. You configure the public key on any public sites that is perfectly non-sensitive. And you click on manage keys and configure that. And once you configure it, it will show up here. So you just toggle that. What will happen is now, if I try to SSH into the box, and there is a cool shortcut here, SSH command. So just copy on that, go to your terminal, paste it, hit enter. It will ask me to connect, yes or no. And then it will not ask me for a password because my public key has been connected to this site. So let me clear it. Let's ls, go to the web folder, same path which we saw earlier. All your files are here. Let's do ls -n. All good. So this is what I wanted to talk about with remote development. So with remote development, you don't need to install any software locally. We provide VS Code based code editor. Soon, the VS Code editor will also understand SSH. So as soon as you connect to a website, it will open up the files. It will open up the terminal as well. Let's go to the next section, which is the last section, which is the WP CLI commands. A lot of WP CLI commands help you to do complex tasks very, very easily. And InstaWP comes with WP CLI pre-installed. So if you go back to SSH, type WP, you will see all the commands associated with WP by default. We also have Composer, NPM, and all the popular Linux commands pre-installed through SSH. You can create a library of commands. So this is something which we are very proud of. So let's go back to InstaWP dashboard. Click on commands. So this is a new option. I'm not sure whether all of you might have heard about it. Now, so what you can do is you can create a library of your own commands, which you can run even without logging into the website SSH. So, and it works without SSH also. And we also supply a library of such commands pre-enabled for you. So all you need to do is just select one library and then import. And there is a bunch of commands which actually helps you to understand how to work with WP CLI. So let's try to install one of these. So let's try to do a search and replace. Click import. And you might notice that we have a curly braces for placeholders. And this is very, very interesting. So let's click outside. So one command has been inserted. Let's add one more command. So let's add an export db command. All right. Now, to run it, there are two ways. First way is to select a site and then go to the details section of the site. Click on Run command. Here, you will see both of our commands are now added here. So let's click on export database and click on run command. All right, so the database has been exported. And if I copy this and copy this one and paste it here. So the SQL file is now downloaded. Let me go back to the stream for a quick moment. I haven't seen questions. All right, so I think everything is okay. So far, so good. Now, the other way which you can run is to do bulk running on multiple sites. Before I show you that, let's click and see how search replace works. Now, the magic here is if I click on run command, it will ask me for these placeholders. So this site is actually, excuse me. So this is the quieter willet. Let's click on that. And let's try to search or lorem ipsum. Let's change this to WordPress and click on continue. So this will change these values with these values and then send it to, and it says success 5 replacement to be made. One thing you might have noticed if you know WP CLI that I have added a dry run at the end of it. So it will actually not do anything. It will just do a dry run. If you want to edit it, go to the command section again and edit it. The last part is something which I would like to show you is how you can do this on multiple sites. Run command, export database, and then run it. So it will go site by site and then run export database for every single site. So hopefully this was useful. The last part is WP CLI package installation. So you might know that there are a lot of custom WP CLI packages on the internet, which is very useful for development. Some of the packages is I have listed here, and all you need to do is copy the package name. So in this case, the package name is Trepmal. All you need to do is go to your terminal, say WP package, PACKAGE, install, and the package name. And it will install the packages. As simple as that. And you can install this doctor command. This is one of my favorite. So WP package install. And this you need to do with per site. So now you might be thinking, why don't I create a commonly used package command and then run it on bulk sites whenever you start to work on these websites. So let's clear it. And the command for doctor is WP doctor check all, and it will run all the diagnostics checks for your website. This is really useful when combined with our staging plugin. So just imagine that you have a live customer website or your own website, and then you make a copy of it with our Connect plugin, and then it copies over to InstaWP, and then you run all these commands on top of it. So it makes an amazing workflow when you want to diagnose something. Same thing goes with the profile command as well. So if I install this, so let's install this and let's run the profile default command. All these commands you can learn about from their GitHub pages. And let's run this. So as you can see, the MU plugins loaded before and after, plugins loaded before, after setup, theme, and init. All these hooks are giving you how much time are they taking and what is the cache hit ratio you are getting, right? So most of the time are getting obviously during the plugin load phase. And this helps you to debug a lot of such problems. You can also run WP shell. You can do a faker command with Yoast. There is a new command from WooCommerce. It's for generating products and orders. So that is the WC faker. All right. So the next is, so what is the roadmap for tooling? So we are coming up with web-based SSH interface. We are coming with AI based. This is going to be our first AI integration with InstaWP. So you can generate AI based commands. So using AI, you can generate commands. And as I said, VS Code, SSH integration, web based VS Code instance rather than using your own local. There is one more demand which has come up is, can I sync a local folder with a remote VS Code installation, sorry, with a remote InstaWP via VS Code or something? Yes, it is coming up. And the local environment to InstaWP full push, right? So pushing a local setup to InstaWP, there is a CLI tool which is coming up. This is almost ready. I think before January 10th, we can release it. And then the commands feature will be supported for all the hosting providers which we support. So you can actually run commands on your connected hosting accounts. For example, run cloud or server avatar. So you will be able to run the command feature. All right. So I have shown you a couple of Easter eggs where you can drag and drop the URLs and zip files. And we will take question and answers from all of you. So to clarify, so Theory has asked that webhook site means we can rig multiple sites to an existing repository, and each time we update it, it will update each. That is correct. So I should have mentioned that. So you can create multiple sites with each with different configurations, different PHP, different WordPress, and then it will automatically update each of those websites. So, but you need to connect each website separately, and you need to copy paste the webhook separately to the GitHub repository, and it will work without any doubt. Another question from Thierry: webhooks through template will create an independent website linked to a specific pull request each time we do it. That is correct. So it will create an independent website, but it will merge the contents of the template and the GitHub pull request. So depending upon, right? So is it a pull request? Is it a webhook? So pull request only work with GitHub Actions, and webhook works with a push to the branch. So if you push a new update to main branch, it will automatically create an independent website with the contents of template and with the contents of that main branch. All right, Theory, keep them coming. Me again. Can we run a series of WP CLI commands after creating a website from a specific configuration? So this is something we are working on. Soon enough, you will see a tab on the configuration which says select a command, and you will be able to select multiple commands which will do this. Mahmood, so we did a webinar on VAS recently. It is available on our YouTube channel. So go to the live tab inside YouTube channel and you will find the VAS. And then you can go from there. Do we have any other questions from people? Can I get a thumbs up on, do you want me to try and do a plugin development using AI if you have time and if you have interest? So if we get at least 3 people saying yes, we will do it. Otherwise, we will close the webinar and then move forward. So Safira, thank you. All right, a lot of people. So let's, so there is another question from Thierry. Let's tackle that. I'm not sure, but creating a staging website can be done from any, that is correct, Thierry. So the plugin works with any hosting company. So you just install our plugin. I will actually show the plugin, how it looks like. So this is available on the repo. You just install the plugin, connect it to your InstaWP account. There is a wizard which helps you connect that. And then you just click on staging site and it will just copy over everything. All right. So before people go and I do the AI thingy, there is a special gift for everybody on this webinar. You can take a screenshot. We don't give lifetime discounts, but people who are attending this webinar, you definitely deserve something from us. So the first one will give you 20% lifetime discount on all our yearly plans. And the second one is will give you 10% a lifetime discount on our monthly plans. And this is only valid for next 7 days. So if you are on a free plan, take advantage of this. Go to a paid plan and start exploring InstaWP. And you can start with a basic starter plan or a personal plan before you move forward to a new plan, because this lifetime discount will allow you to upgrade with the discounted value anytime at any point. All right, so let's go ahead. So there is a question from Shafira. Would the changes made in WordPress by non-developers can be captured changes in GitHub as well? So inside WordPress, when you make some changes, I think you meant database changes like post and adding new post, adding new pages, adding stuff to Elementor. Is that right? If I'm assuming that is right, then you have to use the two-way sync with our staging plugin. You need to switch that on. And this is actually going to be our next webinar, where we will talk about how to create staging quickly, easily, and then how to sync between the staging and live and back and forth. So keep an eye out for that. And now I'm going to move into the AI world. So first foremost, I'm going to go to the ChatGPT installations. And also, let me just check, where am I? Okay. So I am on the Quieter Willet website, and I have all the previous plugins listed. Now my job is to create a new plugin. To create a WordPress plugin, I have a use case in mind. So let's try to do that. Let's create a WordPress plugin to send a Slack notification when a new post is added by anyone, right? So let's start with that. So hopefully ChatGPT will respond, because nowadays I have heard that it has become dumber and dumber. But I guess it is trying to give us step-by-step instructions on creating a Slack webhook, which I have created, by the way, beforehand. So now I'm going into the WordPress world. So it says that create a folder. So let's just copy the name of this plugin. Go back here. I can add a new folder. So folder name is Slack Notifier. So let's add that. Hopefully the Slack Notifier plugin is now added. Next, I'm going to add a new file. I think I should create a new website. Yeah, I think it's first time it takes a little bit more time. So let's close the welcome page. All right, so excuse me, I opened the wrong plugin. Close it up. All right, so let's open this up. Add a new file, .php, and it should add the file here. All right, so our file is now added. I'm going to copy paste the entire code and walk through that. So copy, paste, as easy as that. Here, they're asking me to paste the webhook URL. So I've copy pasted the webhook URL in advance to save some time. And this is a function to send the Slack notification. A new post has been published, getting the title, encoding in JSON, doing a remote post with everything, and then add action on publish post. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go back to my Quieter Willet dashboard, and it should have a new plugin there. So this website, give me a second. So if you ever experience such things with InstaWP, go ahead and change the max children to 4. This should give it a little bit of boost in terms of performance. But I don't think it is because of our servers. It is because of a plugin And this is very common with WordPress, isn't it? So, or I can try to create a new website and see if that is working well. I think let's do it with Undaunted Skunk. So it is working really fast. Excuse me, I am going to do that again, but it shouldn't take much time. So I'm going to do it another way. Click on Code Editor, open VS Code. Do you want to disconnect and connect to new site? Yes, I want to do that. Let's close this off. People, if you want to disconnect, I will totally understand. Thank you for attending this webinar. This is so lovely of you to come and attend. The recording will be available on our YouTube channel and all our socials, and we will send out an email to all the attendees with the PDF of the presentation and with the recording link so that you can watch anytime you want. Hopefully, after this, you use InstaWP as a developer platform rather than anything else. So let's Slack notifiers. Let's go back to ChatGPT, copy code, and let's wait for it to add the folder. I think it goes all the way from top to bottom when you are adding a folder. We should definitely make this faster. All right, so let's add a new file, Slack notifier.php. And yep, so let's paste it, paste the webhook. All right, so I guess we should be all set. Let's go back to our dashboard. Yep, Slack notifier is there. Click on activate. So let's add a new post. Let's try if it works or not. So this is Gutenberg loading all its CSS. Or we could have just added a new page. I think in both it will load same thing. For some reason, the WordPress site itself is not working. So yeah, but I think you've got the gist of it. You can create such plugins remotely with the help of ChatGPT. And I have the GitHub Copilot installed. So if I wanted to, let's say, send the webhook on post updation as well, and then hit enter, it will automatically suggest the hook to me because I have the GitHub Copilot linked to my VS Code. And I don't think this is correct though. So we need to check whether this is correct or not. Send the webhook on post updation. I'm not sure whether this is correct or not. So we need to check that out. But I think it's the time to say bye to everybody. Thank you for attending. I guess so we can take a couple of more questions if you have. How does the 20% lifetime work if you have recently subscribed to an annual plan? So when you subscribe to an annual plan, that lifetime, when you upgrade, if you upgrade to a new plan, this 20% can work for you. I need to check if you can raise a request on live chat. That will definitely be helpful. But thank you everybody for attending. Hope you have a great day ahead and good night, good evening to everybody. And yet again, we will send you a notification for the next webinar via email. Thank you. Bye-bye.